ground between being religious and non-religious. I think it is a misuse of language to use this ill-defined term in the hopes that other people won't call you on it, and I'll call you on it. I want to know what it means.
And to the extent that you can use a word like that as a catch-all for a whole bunch of different things you might find nice,
Right.
you know, kindness and calm and wisdom and insight, those things, right?
Yeah.
I think as a catch-all term for those things, the term spiritual is inherently oversimplistic. I think those
lazy.
are all different things. Largely, they're very different things.
It's an exercise in laziness, and I think it is dishonest, because many times.
See, there you go again. I mean, that's the same thing you said last
You
time.
bastard!
I'm being honest. It is laziness to use the term, and I think it's dishonest.
That's your definition, Matt. That's your definition.
What?
That's your definition.
No, it's not my definition. I'm giving you my opinion.
Okay.
It is lazy to use that term, and it is also dishonest, because generally when people use that term, they're talking about how they're achieving some greater insight or whatever. And you know what the true key to developing greater insight is? It's to actually investigate, define terms, and understand them, not lump everything together under one feel-good, ill-defined term. That is mud. That is not clarity. It is not. Simplification is the hallmark of intelligence. And when you have this muddied term that doesn't mean anything, it's lazy. It says, I really don't want to think about this too hard. I really don't want to investigate this too hard. I really don't want to dig into why I think what I think. I just want to kind of go and enjoy it. Well, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to do that. But don't pretend like you're getting some sort of enlightenment out of it and then put a label on it that people could ooh and ah over. It drives me crazy.
No, it's not that sort of thing at all. I mean, spirituality is defined differently by different people. I mean, it's a term that people use often, but I can see where you're going with it. I can see how you say that in general, people who think like this are also like this, or, you know, are lazy, or, you know.
No, that's not what he was saying. He's saying it. Look, it's earlier I was pointing out calmness is one thing, right? Wisdom is a different thing. Insight is another thing. Right? Those are all different things. And what we're saying is that you're lumping them together under one term.
Yeah,
and you think you've accomplished something, and we're saying no. Talk about those individual things individually, because they're different, and their differences matter.
And you can talk about how they interact with each other as well. But that's not what happens.
Do once you've labeled it all spirituality, and it's just this amorphous blob of various things that you think are nice.
Clarity is dependent on definitions and distinctness and simplicity. That's where clarity comes from. Clarity doesn't come from, ooh, this kind of all feels good, and I'm going to put this in it. I don't really understand it enough, so I'm going to call it spiritual. And that's where that word comes from.
But you're also assuming a little bit that the people who call themselves spiritual or think of spirituality in that sense are not using reason. You're assuming that they're not.
No, I'm not assuming that. I'm relaying this because every single time I ask somebody to define that term or talk about what they mean, they are unclear and unable to do so. That isn't clarity. That isn't insight.
It is a nebulous term, yeah, but, you know. Well,
I'm not assuming that anything about these people. I give them an opportunity. And it's across the board. Go do an internet search for spirituality. I don't find anything remotely appealing from anybody who's written on it.
And even Christians call themselves spiritual nowadays. So it's really,
yeah.
I agree with you
because
on
it's
that.
in vogue.
But I still have a little bit of difficulty with you not seeing that, you know, people should be able to look at myths and you know, derive for themselves how they want to use those myths, and
I have no problem with that.
Allow themselves a social or cultural context to practice.
No, that's fine.
I have no problem with that.
As long as they don't make the mistake of thinking that any of it is actually true.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then that's fine, right?
That's fine, except that your question was, you used the word religion to describe that, and our only disagreement with you on that point is we don't think that's religion.
Okay.
It's religion when you've got those myths, you turn to them for inspiration, and you think somewhere down in there in those stories, those stories are describing actual facts.
Maybe it's spirituality.
But it probably is, because this is probably spirituality on some level.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I
Well,
don't know what else to tell you.
It's nice. It's soft and cuddly. It's
and
relatively
we got like
you
2 minutes
don't
left.
believe kindness is better than truth for sure, Matt, right?
What's that?
You still don't believe kindness is better than truth.
I don't believe that
Universally,
kindness
no.
is universally necessarily better than truth. I think there are situations where kindness is probably preferable to truth.
Yes.
But I am of the opinion that generally speaking, truth is better and preferable to kindness.
I'm even willing to go on the line and say under what circumstances kindness takes over is better than truth.
Well, what I was...
if you don't mind,
Oh,
I think the only circumstances in which kindness is more important than truth is when you're in a situation that's so extreme that it's too late for the truth to do any damn good.
And the two aren't mutually exclusive. I'd say that truth is a kindness.
It is.
Telling somebody the truth is a kindness, and the only time that I would not tell somebody a truth is when it is demonstrable that lying to them is more kind. And by the way, that means looking at the big picture, not an immediate benefit, but a broad benefit. I don't mind so much of the little lie about, you know, Santa to a kid, although I kind of go back and forth on it on, you know, different things. But telling somebody a lie to make them feel good momentarily without considering the ramifications of that lie further down the road, you've done them a gross disservice, and you've done yourself a gross disservice. And I don't mean you, Shilpa, I mean anybody.
And the world, human culture, disservice.
The better equipped everybody else is to deal with truth, the better off we all are. If everybody had been instilled with the ability to handle reality without needing people to lie to them on occasion, if we had built up that society, then we wouldn't be having this discussion, because truth would be the kindness.
I agree with you on that. But I do want to tell Jeff, Jeff, I don't know if you heard that after show call where I called in, and basically what I had said to Matt was that I had met an old man who had lost his dog, and this is when I was a Christian, and I was trying to tell him that Jesus loves him, and he was like, no, but will my dog be there in heaven though, you know? And I did lie to him, and I told him yes, you know. And
how do you know that was a lie?
Well, I mean...
Did you know there was no heaven at all?
Matt called me a liar, so I'm just going along with what
he
said. So, but I justified it, even as a Christian, I justified it as there were two scriptures in the Bible that said that the Spirit goes back to God who gave it, and that's in, I think, Proverbs. And there was another one by Paul that said, for now we know in part and prophesy in part, so we don't know everything anyway. So those were my two justifications.
She rationalized, but she didn't believe that it was true, and she said it, and that's why I said she was lying.
Right.
So
the fairest answer you could have given.
And try you guys again. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't say she was a liar all the time. I said if she didn't believe it was true, she told him, she said something that she didn't believe was true.
If you ever lie, you're a liar all the time.
Oh yeah. What do you call somebody who tells the truth? I don't know. When I meet him, Ray, I'll let you know. We got Joe in Austin. You get the last call, and you got like 10 seconds. I'm sorry.
Quick comments. The State Board of Education has thinly veiled to re-indoctrinate the society.
I agree. And on that note, I apologize, but we are completely out of time. To anybody who didn't get through, please email tv@atheist-community.org. As a reminder, after the show's over, we'll be going to Threadgill's 301 West Riverside Drive. Any atheist or atheist-friendly person is welcome to join us there. Don't forget about the Back Cruise coming up in September. There's the crew who make this show happen and who work on Show yourselves. You have a camera. Woo, there they are.
Thanks, crew. You guys are awesome.
We'll be back again next week. We appreciate everybody for calling in, and sorry for those we didn't get to. Bye-bye.